Hello there, I'm Harry Du. In this video, I want to show you a few performance tips for using MicroStrategy REST API. Let's get to it. The first one I want to show you is you can use the field parameter to retrieve the partial data in response. So to show you that, we can go to this collection. So if you don't know how to use MicroStrategy REST API Playground, and please watch another video about how to get started. So in this video, we're going to use the Playground. So here you open this MicroStrategy REST API workflow collections, and you open these collections. There's some folders. So first, we're going to show you. So you can, let me first log in. I'm going to log into my environment. Okay, I'm going to use this API to fetch a specific project. So without a specific this parameter, so if I run this, this is the result you want to get, right? This is the result you will get. So I can use this fields parameter and specify a comma separate list. Those are the fields I will get data for. So for the fields, I'm not specifying, I will not receive that in the response. So this can save you some time in the parsing, in data transfer, right? Save you some network time. Potentially, you can save some server time as well. So let's see. So now I'm going to run this again with this parameter, fields with ID and name. So those are the field names. So I expect to get only ID and name. Now I'm only getting ID and name, right? So this API also works if you have a request returns a list. So this request returns just a object dictionary. So if I try to fetch all the projects, use different API. If I use this API, so without let's say without specifying this, when I run this, you see it gets a list, right? List each of the list. Inside the list, each of this is the object and with some fields, right? So if the response return is a list, I can also use this field parameter and list all the fields I want to get data for in the object within the list. So if I run this, so here I expect ID, name, and description. I expect to get only ID, name, and description inside each of the object within the list. So if I run this, you'll see only ID, name, description are returned, right? So you can also use this field parameter in a request returns list. Now this field parameter works almost in every APIs. You can use this, try to use this in almost all the APIs. There's also another way to use it. So let's see. There's in the field parameter, you can also specify deeper structure, right? You can also go into each of the, go into some fields and to filter data, use this parameter, use this example. So let's first, let's run this example. So first I'm going to get one report ID. Let's see, I'm going to run this. I'll get one report ID. So I'm going to use this first report. So when I run this, if I don't specify this parameter, you'll see, let me see. If I don't specify this parameter, you'll see in the data, let's see, go into the definition. Okay, this is data, right? In the data, let's open the metric, open the metric value, right? Within the metric value, you have a raw value, okay? You also have a formatted value. You also have some actual parameter, actuals. So within the metric value, you have three lists, right? So you can also use this parameter, fields and dash data matrix value format. So those are the paths, right, to this field. So first data, metric value, and formatted, right? Formatted. So if you don't want to see the formatted value, you can use dash minus this, and it will not show this formatted section and actual section. So when I use this, so if I try to run this, let's see. I try to run this, let's go to the data again. So this is a definition. Okay, go to data, right? Go to data, metric value. You see in the metric value, we only have a raw data. We don't have a formatted data, and we don't have an actuals. So you can also use this to reduce the size of your data. That's the first tip I want to show you. This works with almost all the APIs. For the this part, you need to specify particular parts. This may not work on all the APIs. The second tip I want to give you is you can actually use incremental fetch to use the API returns just a list. Okay, I'm going to use this API. Let's see. Okay, right. So without specifying the limit and offset, you get all the data in one call. So the total size is 1 MB, right? 1 megabytes. So you get a 1091 results. Okay, right. So with this parameter, you can specify how many you want to get within this call and what's the offset. Offset means which index you want to start with. So let's specify, without specifying this, by default is -1, which means no limit. Okay, so let's specify this to be 100. So since this total is 1091, probably the size will be reduced to only 10%, right? Let's specify offset to 0. So we'll start from the first one. So the first result we should see is a photo upload this report. Let's try to run it. The size, okay, is less than 100 KB, so which is less than 10% of the size. And the first one is still the same, right? Still the same. This one shows the total doesn't change. So if you look at the size, like size is reduced to 10%. So if I change this, so this means this is working, right? If I change this to be offset to be 100, let's see, it will start from a new report, right? If I run this, the total size should still be like less than 100 KB, and the first one is different, right? First one is different. So you can use this combination of limit and offset to do an incremental fetch, right? You can have a make a request and fetch some data, and so you can render the UI, right? Render the interface. Then you can, in the background, you can continue to fetch the rest of data. So you can use this to do some incremental fetch, and that's this API.